Welcome to my latest experiment. This is the big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
What is it?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Oh my God.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
And there is no one that does it better.
The Guy and Harley podcast, streaming all over your face.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Pigville on the internet. Well, I squared him up. Left my chest exposed. He threw a quick left hook, and it broke my nose. I had thick red blood running down my clothes and a sick look, 'cause I liked it though. My name's Harley Neville. Welcome along to the Gary and Harry podcast.
And I'm Gary Pigeon. So it's we're back.
We're back. This is guys back in the country after a whirlwind trip around to literally the other side of the globe in order to shoot a documentary.
That's
now
right. He's
back with all the updates and all the news.
Lots of news, lots of updates. I should probably start off with a few airline travel tips
Okay.
that I learned along the way. Always get an aisle seat.
Yep.
Never don't get an aisle seat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you will occasionally have to get up for people, but the reality is, if you're like me, you get up all the time because you're drinking all the free beer and you got to go to the toilet all the time.
Yeah.
And you just really create this sense of like it's just like you feel guilty when you're like, oh, sorry, excuse me.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Yeah, or when they're sleeping is the worst because you're like, I really need to piss.
Yeah.
But you know, it's really annoying when you're on a plane and you finally get to sleep, you know, and then some cunt wakes you up.
Yeah, because
Which is, of course, the flip side of what you're saying because you're now the cunt on the end getting woken up.
But I also find that the reality is I get up more than anyone else gets up. And so that's my number one tip, and I did not follow that.
Oh,
on my.
Well, you don't want to pay extra for a seat.
Well, but most of the time, if you're at the counter, you go, could I have an aisle seat? They'll go, yeah, sweet as.
Oh, yeah.
No charge.
Oh, yeah.
However, the issue was I was in such a panic when I went up there because I was so worried about my baggage.
Yeah.
My excess baggage that I forgot all about that because I was just praying that they wouldn't ask to weigh my bag, which they did. And I'm not sure if I told you this, but...
hang on a fucking second. I have a feeling that there's no audio on the live stream. Actually, fuck the live stream. Fuck those guys. This one's just for the hardcore podcast listeners because I can't figure that out in the next 2 minutes live on air when guys got to go soon. So... As you were saying.
So as I was saying, I was in such a panic about my bag being weighed that I forgot to ask for an aisle seat. So I got into a situation where, one, I had to pay excess baggage both ways. So the way there, I had to pay excess. I didn't have to pay excess baggage, but I had to pay for an extra bag. They're like, sir, it's 7 kg baggage allowance. You have 14 kgs. And I was like, oh, yeah, but it's just it's one bag.
I'm just going to put the batteries in my pocket.
And but they were like, but if you split it into two, we'll let you away with it. So I ran to buy a bag, but then I had to buy a bag, which was $90. So,
right. But at least you get to keep the bag.
I got to keep the bag. It's quite a good bag, actually.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I felt like I got off the hook. On the way back, I was like, okay, I'm aware of this problem. So what I'm going to do is fill all my pockets and every single thing. So I was wearing shorts with cargo shorts.
Yeah.
So they got the quadruple pockets there.
Yeah.
And then I was wearing my jacket, which has 2 inner pockets, 2 outer pockets, and one little top pocket.
Yeah.
And so I put like radio mics, I put cameras, I put lenses. I literally weighed an extra at least 5 kg. And I was like, sweet, I'm going to be sorted this time.
Yeah.
And I got up to the counter and they weighed my 2 bags because I'd already separated them into 2 because I was ahead of the game here.
Yeah.
No dramas.
So this is coming back.
This is coming back now.
Yeah.
So I've taken 5 kg out, put it on my person. I've taken Bernie's advice and I've loaded myself up.
Your pockets up. Yep. Bernie Rouse, 5150 listener.
And they
Shout
were
out.
like, sir, you're, I think 4 kg over the 7 kg limit. And I was like, oh yeah, but because it's split into 2, it was all good on the way here.
Yeah.
And like you could tell, when you like that they just hate you.
Yeah.
Well,
it's the mullet. It's the mullet's the issue.
But the air hostess or the baggage check-in, clearly, as soon as she saw that I was a couple kgs over, she just flipped to it. Her demeanor went from nice, all good to you fucking piece of shit.
You moron.
You absolute piece of shit. How dare you bring an extra 4 kgs and think that you could somehow get away with it? I'm not going to let you get away with it.
Yeah.
So, essentially, she made me shift some of that into my regular suitcase and then pay for excess baggage.
Yeah.
Which she said was going to be $300 and wound up being only $150 for 2 kgs excess baggage.
And the stuff that was in there, the 2 kgs, if you'd thrown away 2 kgs of stuff, literally threw it in the bin, would it cost you less than 150 or more?
Probably more.
Right. Well,
so it was
them's the breaks.
There's nothing I could do, but it was definitely not ideal. So, but I did remember to ask for an aisle seat on the way back.
Yeah.
And then also I did ask to swap with a guy with my aisle seat, and he was like, "No,
Nah, bro."
He was like, "No."
Well, I tell you what, this is not fair. Is that fat people weigh more and they get to travel with a bag as well,
Yeah, they get more excess baggage technically.
Well, in terms of weight, they do. Everything, the whole thing. There's a plane that can only carry a certain amount of kgs, right? So the bigger people, I'm saying that I should be able to carry as much baggage as to make me equal to the fattest person on the plane. Is what I'm saying. So if there's a guy in there who weighs 150, I weigh 78.
Yeah,
I should be able to get another 72 kilos worth of gear on my carry-on, or at least checked in.
I feel like
I'll take the couch with me.
This would cause some serious.
I'll take my friends.
Some serious problems.
Well, still. I'm just pointing out there's a lot of inequality in life.
Yeah, fat guys.
Fat people have all the fun.
Fat guys do have an advantage here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was my other tip for on the plane is noise cancelling headphones.
Yeah.
This is my first trip with noise cancelling headphones. This is a new technology for me. And what you realize is that planes are fucking loud. They're just so constantly, which you kind of get used to, but is actually ruining your listening experience when you listen on those shitty headphones that they give you. But it's also kind of keeping you awake because you got this kind of loudish forever hum. And if you've got noise cancelling headphones, you just pop those bad boys on, flick on that, and boom, silence. Or close to, and it's very good, and it's also much better for your viewing experience.
Well,
don't be afraid to ask for extra peanuts.
Thanks, guy.
They have extra peanuts. You can ask for them.
I like the aisle seat because then I need to pee as well all the time, constantly, and I feel bad about waking them up as well. So I'm with you on that one. Totally with you. I've been catching a few planes lately too.
Yeah, you've been jet setting. You've been jet setting around. I've been jet setting around the world. You've been jet setting around New Zealand,
around Aotearoa, the most beautiful country in the world.
You've been jet setting an hour down the road.
Well, yeah. So I just came back yesterday from Christchurch because I'm a big shot producer now. I went down there and stayed in a 4.5-star hotel and was like, this is This is what you deserve, Harley.
I've earned this.
I've earned this. Okay, you've cracked it, Nevs. You know, this is what it's all been about, all those years. Now I'm getting flown around the country, put up in swanky hotels, and producing commercials.
Just totally classic Nevs.
Just lucks into
really
it.
just totally fluked into this.
I just walk in
that
there.
you're completely unqualified for.
I was the producer-director of a commercial. I've never directed a commercial.
Or produced a commercial.
Well, no, I've never produced a commercial.
You've never...
You could argue, though, Guy, that producing a feature film is harder than producing a commercial.
Yes.
The hard thing about a commercial is the tight turnarounds, the pressure and the tight turnarounds and the client, and all that type of stuff, which we don't.
You're the Forrest
have.
Gump of the film industry.
Yeah, right?
That's what you are. You kind of just find yourself in these these extraordinary circumstances that you really have no business being in.
Yeah.
And everyone's just kind of like, all right, Mr. Gump, what do we do now?
And do you know what else? Do you know how else I'm like Forrest Gump? Aside from the huge penis, which is implied in the movie, I always figure it out, and it all works out for the best. It all works out. I mean, Forrest Gump has lots of admirable traits in terms of his positivity and his, I don't know, and just things lining up for him and working out in the end. So, yeah, you're right. I'm Forrest Gump. I, Harley Neville, am Forrest Gump.
A bumbling, mentally disabled goofball.
Who potentially has AIDS by the end of the movie.
And has kind of just floats through life.
Making the best of things.
Making the best
That's
of things.
what he does. He stays positive and he makes the best of things. That is me.
Yeah. So it is pretty funny. It's also
I could have hired Guy to be the director of this, the director DP, but old Professor Pigden over here was too busy.
I was too busy teaching the youth
of tomorrow. But that's the same shit you did yesterday.
Yeah, no, look, to be fair, I probably even could have said to the class, realistically, like, hey, class,
this is why.
Don't worry, just carry on with your work, because they're doing big projects at the moment. Most of the time, I'm just there,
supervising
in spirit.
Yeah.
For moral support.
Yeah.
I think that like last time I was there, they asked me like 3 questions in the 8-hour class or whatever it was. So it is arguable that I wouldn't really be required, and I could do that. But the other problem was that I was working a night shift the night before the first shoot
day. Yeah,
so I was like,
long as day.
Like essentially, I was like, I have to stay up 48 hours and work really hard.
Yeah.
On at least one of those.
Yeah. And I remember a wise man once said, you know that you're going to make it if you want it as much as you want it when you have your head shoved underwater. That's when you know you've got what it takes. You've got the gumption.
If you want more than if you was willing to sacrifice sleep, sometimes you won't sleep for 1, 2, 3 days.
That's what he said. Anyway, you don't want it enough.
I was gonna not sleep for 2 days, and I was like, nah, don't want it.
Fuck it. Nah, fuck it. I don't care about it. Thousands of dollars, don't care.
No, to be honest, it was a calculated decision.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the way it is, especially at short notice. I mean, I potentially couldn't have done it because you don't want to fuck over your employer that employs you for the rest of the time. For one job, and it's like as cool as the job is, you can't be dicking your regulars around, or you lose your rep. And then if you're a freelancer, all you've got is your last job and your rep and your balls. And all your money, and all that spare time. Freelancing is great. Operation GoPro has been a resounding success.
Well, it's funny because you really flip-flop between it being a resounding success and a complete failure, which is what you've said multiple times to me.
I literally have never said it's a complete failure.
You've been like, okay, that's it. Operation GoPro has failed.
I give up, yeah.
When you have... What was that?
Oh, no.
There's an exchange.
What the? Okay.
There's one inside the big house.
That's a That is a cameo appearance from Eric Elick, who is a LA composer that we both know, who I allow to like host on my channel, on our Twitch channel, and he just evidently he went live. So go check out Eric Elick sometime. But moving on.
Yeah. So. And also, I was like, it's all about what's the long game here.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I was like, it's important that Harley continues to make ads so he can employ me doing them. So he should put his best foot forward, which is by not employing me.
Makes sense.
Because although I am a incredibly accomplished director of great notoriety and skill, I am not an amazing director of photography. In fact, I don't class myself as a director of photography. I call myself a videographer.
Well, that's the thing as well, because in this case, if I was going to hire Guy, then Guy would be the director, but he'd also be the DP of it.
Yeah.
Whereas instead what ended up happening was I directed it and hired the man, Isaac Newcomb, to come in to shoot it, who is a bona fide DP with great gear and all that stuff.
And also...
and a professional and a good man.
Exactly. And teach a man to fish, and he will work on your projects for free for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And
that's what they say. That's
it's
the
a
old
slow indoctrination into the cult of Pigville, where occasionally we throw you a bone and go, hey man, here's actually a good paying job that we hooked you up for. Now, can you please commit 6 months of your life to this feature film for free?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And then they feel obligated, and so that's how that whole system works.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So I had all these thoughts going around, and I unselfishly gave up my spot. 1, to help Harley, and 2, to give Isaac some work to repay all his hard work with an easy, well-paying gig.
Well, that's all very noble.
Yep,
and
that's me.
I am glad
Thank you.
to have
Thank you very much.
Employed Isaac,
Say no
of course. Now, from my perspective, I was also thinking long-term and calculated. But I was thinking if we can prove ourselves as this director-producer duo that produces commercials under the brand Pigville, then that's really good for us, as a team, and we can hopefully move into this arena. Which we still can, it's fine. It's not the end of the world, but that would have been our first chance to maybe do it, and not just do that the actual production, but maybe do the post as well. And then kind of be able to provide that or that full service and we keep all the money,
Yeah.
But I think we're a little way away from that, because today I was watching Alan George edit this commercial, and Alan George is the man at directing, writing, and editing are his areas of expertise, as I understand it. And I was watching it was like art. It was like he was painting while he was editing my commercial, and he was doing everything super quickly. He was using all the shortcuts and using one of those pen mouse, the ones new fandangled pen
Wacom
mouses.
tablet.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it was art in motion. It really was.
I've seen him edit like that. He is actually a very fast editor, even
quick.
by editor's standards. So I've watched him do edit like that.
I was like, fucking hell.
And he is editing at probably 5 to 10 times the speed that I cut.
Yeah.
So, and that's just more of a problem for me in the sense that, any job just takes longer.
After seeing him today, how quickly he put it together, but also how tight the turnaround is on a corporate job, and how quickly people want things and all that type of thing, we absolutely would have stumbled when it came to the post-production if we had tried to do it all ourselves. Absolutely.
What I would have done to make an allowance for that is I would have started the edit the day we got back.
Yeah.
And I would have tried to have that edit done by the next morning.
Yeah.
Now, I would have spent, instead of 3 hours, I would have spent the night on it.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But as the thing is, although I edit a lot, I don't consider myself I don't consider myself an editor really, in the sense of I feel like I can edit narrative as well as anyone, but I don't think I can edit narrative as quickly as any other editor.
Yeah.
Etc.
Right. Back to airplanes for a wee second there, flying. I did. We've got an aging workforce in New Zealand, I hear, and I was looking at. I was thinking,
we're part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed that one of the problems with Air New Zealand is that they treat their staff so well. And they have such strong unions and good pay and all that stuff that they retain all of their experienced air hostesses, sometimes for decades, and I feel like when I was a kid, the air hostesses were always like young and pretty, and now it seems like they're like old and pretty still, but old. It's a real
and
issue.
You've got an issue with that.
It's a real problem.
You want something nice
It's a real
to
traveling
look at.
problem.
Nice.
No, I'm a bachelor and I need to, if I'm flying a lot, that's an opportunity to, maybe meet the love of my life. She might be an air hostess, but not if she's 60.
I've just got a job lined up for September, 16th of September. That's really booking ahead.
Yeah, well, good for you.
That's really booking. I've never had a job come that far in advance before.
Yeah.
September.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. That feels good, knowing that you've definitely got some work lined up.
I tell you what, the workforce at Malaysian Airlines are definitely not aging.
Yeah.
They are not aging at all.
Right.
But the problem, to be honest, because this is I've done quite a lot of international travel, and this was one of the more sort of budget airlines. Like, I think last time I flew Singapore, and there's definitely a considerable difference in the level of service, and it's not anything that you could really put your finger on. Apart from, I guess, the regularity of when people coming through and all that stuff, and how long you have to wait for the toilet. Oh my God, some of those waits. And everyone's just standing around waiting for the toilet. It was like on a full flight, down in the cattle class. It's like it's a wasteland down there. You know?
Yeah.
It's a real post-apocalyptic situation waiting for that toilet.
It doesn't get better when you finish with it either, right?
But anyway, I did notice that the air hostesses or hosts, there's just like a level of disdain where just a flicker of their eyes when you ask for something
over here or over there
on when you're flying Air Malaysia or you're flying.
They're not. So it's bad service.
You're in the cheap seats.
It's bad service.
Yeah,
right.
You're in the cheap seats and you're asking for things.
Yeah,
you're asking for those peanuts that I mentioned earlier, or you're asking for a beer or an extra drink or something, and it's just like a flicker in the back of the eyes, like fuck you, you insignificant economy class motherfucker.
Yeah.
I get paid fucking fuck all for this, and you're bothering me when I want to sit down.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, every second I spend with you is another second I have to spend on my feet.
It's just a little glimmer, and I just noticed that. And you don't really get that with the slightly better airlines, I don't think. So yes, that's
that. Well, I watched the new Joker trailer.
Oh yeah,
it's good. It's good stuff. I like the way it's going.
Yeah,
I'm feeling this real life-ish.
That came like 2 months ago.
No, I watched it ages ago. It's just we only do a fucking podcast once every fucking 2 months. So that's an old note. So it looks good though. I thought it was
I thought it looked fine.
For me, I was like, I like the way they're taking it. It feels like kind of like real lifey, much more real lifey how you would become the Joker or what the Joker would be like nowadays, kind of thing. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been on the fence with the kind of I love Batman. Batman is my favorite superhero. I have a Batman T-shirt. I walk around saying I'm Batman sometimes because I love him so much. But,
where is he?
And I've had mixed feelings because I feel like Christopher Nolan's middle Batman hit Batman perfectly, but I also feel that Tim Burton's Batman, original Batman, hit Batman perfectly in two different ways. And
I'm still, despite it all, I am a Christian Bale Batman guy.
Yeah, it just got a bit.
It does get a bit where he's like doing that silly talking, and it's like, I don't know, why is it like?
Why do you need to put on a voice? Well, because you'd recognize Bruce Wayne's voice if you didn't talk like this, but on the same token, it sounds fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's fine when he's not trying to have a conversation, like when it's one little word here and there. But when he's like interrogating somebody, you're like, oh god.
But yeah, so I do think the Dark Knight is really good, but I do think original Batman is better, and I do think you still have to embrace those comic book roots. But anyway, aside from Batman, yeah, that Joker trailer did look good. I like that, and I think, look, we don't have too much time, so we should talk about two major things.
Okay.
So, but the first major thing is Game of Thrones.
Okay, well that conversation could take hours.
It could, but I'm timing 10 minutes for it.
Okay. Well, look. How about this though? Do you want to end on your other topic?
Yes.
Because if we end on this, then we can say to everybody who doesn't want spoilers, we can say good night. But no, we'll do it first, and then fuck those guys. They miss the last topic.
They miss it.
All right.
So look, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones yet,
season 8.
I just finished it this morning.
Yeah.
I fell asleep last night, and I had to rewatch it this morning. And in fact, to be honest, there could be something more that happens because I haven't seen the last 4 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I had to put it on pause, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell me, Harley, if anything major happens there. Seemed like nothing was going to happen.
Oh, well, I can't quite remember. You'd have to remind me where you got up to, I guess.
So
if
you haven't seen it, log off now.
Yeah.
Come back to us once you've finished Game of Thrones Season 8.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, now we're back. Everyone else, everyone in the entire world, everybody else that has seen Game of Thrones Season 8 and watched it all up until this point, we're here now.
All you people pissing and fucking moaning.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've got a few thoughts, but so at the end of Game of Thrones, from what I see, is Jon Snow was off on a boat to head to Castle Rock.
Oh, so
or Castle Rock.
Castle
or,
Black.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, and after that, there is an important end to his storyline that you did miss.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah, you might as well tell me.
Well, so at the very end of it all, he rides off with the wildlings. So he doesn't stay and become the Lord of the Watch again. He decides
that's kind of
instead
interesting
to ride off with old mate the Ginger.
Yeah, old Ginge, he's back.
Yeah.
After being cock-blocked.
Giant's Bane.
After being cock-blocked
by the largest
the Kingslayer. What's his name?
Jamie Lannister.
Yeah, Jamie. Cock-blocked by Jamie.
Cock-blocked by a one-handed man. That's insulting for a warrior. If you're a warrior by trade and you get cock-blocked by a one-handed man, that boil your blood. Boil your blood that well.
It really would. It would get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, also...
But he was cool with it. He just moved on.
He also told a story of how he got so big by sucking on a giant's titty.
Yeah.
But I was like... And it took her 3 months to realise or something.
Yeah.
Is what he said. But I was like, oh, well, then what happens when she realised?
Well, he snuck away, obviously. He managed to sneak away, or get away. He snuck away before she realised, or you know what I mean? Like, after I just assumed it's a Jack and the Giant beanstalk-esque tale. Except for he sucked on the titties of the giant.
I was like, there's so many questions here. I was like, okay, how did he kill the giant originally?
Yeah.
You know, the first giant that he killed.
Yeah, but giants can be killed.
Yeah, of course they can. But, like, okay, so how did he do that when he was a
That little girl killed a giant.
But he was a boy.
A dead one.
He was a boy, right?
Yeah, but what about the little girl?
Yes.
Mormont. She kills a dead one.
Yeah.
A
zombie
reanimated,
giant.
A reanimated
zombie
one.
giant.
Yeah, and she's just one little girl.
Well, yeah, but
this is Giant's Bane himself.
I wanted to know more about the story, but I don't get how after he killed the giant, he was like, cool, hey, what's up, Giant's wife? Hey, them titties look nice. Can I suck on them for a while?
Well, maybe Giant's
I'm like, at least
he says,
I'm 10 or 12.
Yeah, but he says that the giant thought she was his baby.
Yeah.
Or a baby.
Yeah.
You know, a baby. And so she fed this baby, not realizing it was not a baby, it was a human.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's more. I hope George expands on that story.
Right.
Because there was a lot of questions. But
you know, I thought it was cool though, because probably none of it's true. And the character is just, that's his yarn.
Sure.
You know, and that's how he like makes his name or whatever. And it's
that could be the case.
That just became a bit of a legend, and that's also probably what they do amongst the free folk.
Yeah.
You know, they've each got a story behind their name, but really it's like he beat up the big kid at school type thing. You know what I mean? Not that they have school, but you know what I mean? Gets expanded.
I guess what I want to talk about is everyone shitting on season 8.
Yeah.
You're all idiots.
Yeah, what's the fucking problem?
Season 8 is fine.
How the fuck else would you do it? Like, how the fuck else would you tie everything up like that?
Season 8 is better than probably 3 other seasons of Game of Thrones.
The only one I didn't really like was season 7, but yeah, that was it. That's the only one I can think of I didn't really like, just because there was a few things in there I was like, what the fuck? How'd the fucking dragons get that far to the lake so quickly? Not just to the north, but north of the north.
Logistics.
From the fucking...
Don't like logistics.
Yeah, no, I don't like logistics, because she was at bloody... I can't remember, fucking some. She was at her castle, which is way south at the time, and it just didn't make sense that Gendry could run all the way back from the north, all the way back to the castle, send a fucking raven to Daenerys, who's miles away, and then she rides a dragon from there all the way to the north just in the nick of time. I was like, come on, you've ruined the season. Anyway, logistics. I'm all about them.
You really don't like a compromising logistics in television or film.
No, I don't. I'll be honest with you, I don't. It annoys me.
So there's been so many memes and so many people commenting that it's been disappointing or they don't like where it's gone. There's been this stupid fucking petition to rewrite or reshoot Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Hello, you fucking idiots. It's George R.R. Martin's story, right? So he gave those in-story threads to the writers of the TV show.
Yeah.
So
his ending is... It is the real ending.
Yes.
It'll just come about a little bit different in the books.
It'll be slightly different and slightly more elaborate and detailed and all that sort of thing.
It'll explain all the shit that you're fucking bitching about.
But
that's what you've got to boil it down. You've got to boil it down for the TV show, right?
Yeah.
So if you read the books, you'll see that all of that shit's explained and there's way more depth to it all. But of course, you can't show everything. It's already such a long show. You can't show every single little detail in the book to make it all make sense. You've got to boil it down and sum it up, which is why there's probably something about how the dragon got there so quickly, maybe, or maybe there's more time in the book or something. Anyway.
Are you back to those fucking logistics? But yeah, like my impression.
This is my most disappointing thing, the logistics.
Basically, because I saw all this stuff online, having not seen season 8. So I came to season 8
that
late.
Would fuck me off. I didn't see a single spoiler before it.
Because I was shooting, I didn't really see any spoilers, but I was shooting this documentary and I just didn't have time to watch it. Yeah. And I finally caught back up. And honestly, it was like watching freaking Lord of the Rings. It was quite a lot in there.
Yeah.
But I got there and I was like, what are you motherfuckers talking about? This is fine. I was like, this is fine. This is good. This is well done. Yeah. There's a few curveballs in there where you're kind of like, didn't see that coming. And there's stuff where you're like, I thought that might be the kind of apex of the show, but it's not. We
it keeps
keep
going.
We see more. There's new stories. And I do not fucking get people's like reaction to it. And I can only assume it's from the dumbing down of society.
I'm with you. I'm kind of inclined to believe that people that think it's shit don't get it.
Yeah.
They just don't get it.
And it's also
like, how else would you wrap up the three-eyed raven storyline? How else could you possibly wrap it up? That's a great way. I can't think of a better way to wrap up that entire thing. And if you didn't wrap it up the way you did, then what have you got? You've got something that, like, a whole storyline that went for 8 seasons that doesn't end anywhere or make any, like, sense, This is what was all for. This is what it was. That's the overarching theme.
Yeah.
Arching, whatever.
Overarching. I don't know.
Overarching, probably.
But it's just ridiculous because, people are like, Daenerys' character, like, should never do that. And it's like, what are you on about,
She's
man?
a fucking Targaryen, bro. She fucking crucified people.
She's also like she's been searching for this, questing for this thing for, 8 seasons. And, it's one of those things, man.
Yeah.
Ego gets the better of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, ego gets the better. Like, this is a reality of people in life, right? If success comes to you too soon, ego gets in the way of that and compromises the choices and decisions you make. E.g., burning down the fucking keep or whatever the hell it's called.
Burning down King's Landing.
Thank you. So that's like, it makes perfect fucking sense. But you are mad because you wanted to wank off with her into the sunset.
Yeah.
Because you are so invested in that character that you don't want to believe she is capable of bad things, or not even bad things, but sort of shades of grey, shades of sort of the things that you don't think are okay for your favorite character to do. And it's like, I'm sorry, but that's not how good television should work.
Yeah, it would be disappointing, really, if almost anybody else was on the throne at the end. Like, who did you want? I wanted Jon Snow. I was like, get Jon Snow up there. He'll do a good job.
Of course,
and he doesn't want it, and that's his tragedy. That he is always forced. He has these things forced upon him that he doesn't want. He just wants to go and hang out with the free folk. But that's his cross to bear. But I wanted him up there. I was like, he'll do a good job at least.
I didn't really know. I was like, I just cannot pick, and which is why this is great.
Exactly. And nobody was like fucking Bran.
Yeah, there's been a few great TV shows where, like, I would say this and Mad Men are these great TV shows where you're like, I literally don't know from season to season who's going to be left, where they're going to go, and why, and what's happened.
Yeah.
And that's what makes good television.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, most of the time you go, I know exactly where these people are going, I know exactly what's going to happen, and I pre-thought it all out, and I'm just watching, kind of validating my own cliches that I've experienced so many times before. And Game of Thrones was an instance where that wasn't the case.
And also, like, if say it had a happy, well, it was a happy ending. That's the other thing too. It was a happy ending that you didn't see coming that totally worked. Mostly happy ending. Anyway, if you had seen like Daenerys and Jon Snow on the Iron Throne at the end of it, ruling together, like I would have been okay with that.
Sure.
But this is a lot better, I think. And there's also, like, looking at it like historically, you kind of go, oh, this is probably based off of how democracy was born, in the sense that we would have had empires run by emperors and, kings and so on, kingdoms and kings, and then at some point they would have realized it was stupid to pass that down hereditary like, and then they would have come up with this idea of a council that elects a king each year or each however long, So it's the birth of democracy.
Yeah, like,
it's genius.
I think the issue with the final episode is that it's not really a final episode in the way that we imagine TV shows, which is the sort of the apex, the climax, and the culmination of everything.
Yeah.
That was kind of the 2 episodes before that. And so this was just kind of like one major thing, and then we kind of wrap everything up. And I don't think they could have done it any other way. And I do feel like, I guess, for kind of, if you think about TV shows, you're like, oh, no, but I want all this action and spectacle right at the end. And I guess in that case, you would have just ended right after the Night, what's the Night King?
The Night King.
Yeah, the Night King was dropped like a bad habit. But, actually, this is based on a book. This is based on stories. We do need to kind of find out. And it's the same with the Lord of the Rings epilogue. But we kind of do need to find out what happens to everyone. Because there are repercussions to these actions.
You should probably watch the last 4 minutes.
Nah. Just give up now.
No, because it tells you a whole bunch of stuff. About all of the characters. We like montage where all of them go. You know what I mean?
Oh, I definitely need to know.
Watch that. If you
need to know what's going on
you didn't
there.
know that Jon Snow goes with the free folk, for example.
No.
That's quite integral to the storyline.
Yeah.
Because that's the only place he was ever happy, if you think about it. With Ygritte in the hot pools under the
bone
earth.
in a hot ginger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, boy.
So the couple of things that bothered me about the conclusion, was there would have been fucking mayhem in the streets, what was left of the streets, after Jon Snow, killed the queen. The Unsullied would not have been cool with that. They were following her out of passion. She said, "You're all free and you don't have to be here," when she liberated them, and they said, we're going to come with you. This is the only life we know. And then Dothraki had been following her since the very beginning. She was kind of, in their eyes, she is one of them, basically. And then suddenly is knifed in the heart by this, Westerosi. Like they would be tearing the place down. They might, sack the city again or whatever, like there would be a huge battle there. But then they've got bloody Jon Snow when he's getting escorted to the wall. He's walking through a fucking crowded marketplace, and there's some Dothraki who walk past with their arrows out.
Thank you.
And yet they don't fucking chop him in half or say anything. And nobody's like yelling at him and booing. And there would be a lot of bad publicity around Jon Snow at that time.
It'd be like that.
He did knife his lover in the heart, who was also his auntie. It's pretty brutal. Like that's a fucking tough decision to make. That's a pretty heroic decision to make because he did love that. He loved that woman.
He loved
they could have lived happily.
He loved that auntie.
He did. The other big thing that bothered me about season 8, the whole season, right, was just this was bad for me. It was episode 3 was the big battle against the Night King. Those military logistics, mate, those strategies were fucking way off. Let me you wouldn't charge your Dothraki out into the darkness to die. Here's what you'd do, okay? You'd have the Unsullied in front of the walls, as you did, and the other men in front of the walls. You'd be waiting for them to come. You'd have fires all around because they found out at the Fist of the First Men that if you light fires and keep them around the boundary, it does hold them back a little. And then you'd have fires all around so you can see them, and you'd have obstacles that would funnel them into pre-ranged killing zones where you focus all your archers and spearmen and whatever, and forcing them to fight you, 10 abreast instead of 1,000 abreast, right? And then when they finally get through all of that and they're engaged with the Unsullied, right, that's when you bring the Dothraki in, who you've had hidden behind the castle, and you smash them in the flanks, their exposed flanks when they're engaged with the Unsullied. Right? That's how you use a fucking army. You charge it off into the darkness to die. And you know why they did that? They did it so that they could use that Red Witch to light the fucking swords on fire and have a cool shot where these cool swords go into the darkness and just disappear and 100,000 or however many fucking Dothraki screamers die for a bloody cool VFX shot where the fires go out in the darkness.
I'm just sad we didn't get to see a naked one last time.
Well, she got that out in her contract in like season 2. She was like, no more titties. No more titties. And then they used fake titties in one of the other episodes. Like there's an episode where she finally escapes the Dothraki baddies, and she gets all her clothes burned off.
So let me get this straight.
And then, but
you've
it's not really
compared
her.
the titties from season. So
the diameter of the nipple was not quite correct.
You've compared the titties.
They were bigger as well.
From 2 different seasons.
Yeah.
Of the Red Witch, or
no. This is Daenerys Targaryen's titties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Daenerys said
titties
she wasn't going to show titties on the show anymore.
I wanted to see the Red Witch's titties.
You see those?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying we didn't get to see them one last time.
I like them more when she takes her necklace off. So Daenerys'
just
titties.
A preference.
Daenerys' titties were CGI.
I want to see the Red Queen as well. Who we were talking about.
No,
the Red Witch. Scarlet Witch. We didn't get to see her titties one last time before she faded off into the sunset.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like 100, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because she's using magic to keep
Still
her.
got it.
She is literally using magic.
Yeah.
To keep her titties hot.
Yeah, she's like
that's part of her magic.
She's like
that she keeps constantly.
She's like the Air New Zealand air hostesses. She's 100, but she's still kind of hot.
And she's using magic to maintain her titties. Like, imagine if you were you had magical powers like she does, and she's like, look, I'm 100. I'm gonna keep my titties good though. Like, I'm gonna dedicate quite a lot of my magic to this.
Well, we have though. That's called surgery and money, man. There's people out there doing that.
That's called Hollywood, I guess.
Yeah, Hollywood, exactly.
But yeah, so no, but honestly, season 8, definitely like. If you guys want to know a real bad Game of Thrones season, go back to fucking season 2,
I don't remember a problem with season 2. I don't remember a problem with season 2.
Season 2 was such a turd.
I don't remember that.
I multiple times was like, fuck this, I'm giving up. I'm giving up. And the only reason I didn't give up is because someone said to me like,
oh, it gets so good.
I've read the books and you should probably stick it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, because every single episode of this is shit, and it's just...
Have you read the books?
Nah, I haven't read the
I've
books.
read all the books and the prequel.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah,
Hashtag humble brag.
For your hashtag fucking Game of Thrones nerd.
Hashtag blatant brag.
But yeah, so at Season 2, I was 100% on the cusp of giving up. And I was never giving up on Season 8. I was like, yeah, this is cool. So all the people that are complaining about it are uneducated idiots.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. And they're they're uneducated idiots with attitudes too. I tell you what, some of the shit they're posting, I want to get up there and like lay a rant on them.
Oh, well, you need to write a
big
Facebook.
status. Yeah, a big status and call them all out.
It's time for a Harley Neville status update.
Yeah,
it's
well,
time.
You might be
it's
right.
It's time. We've hidden too long in the shadows.
Yeah.
The Season 8 enthusiasts have hidden too long in the shadows, and now it's time to light the fires like the Red Witch did.
Okay.
Against all the undead.
Well, the issue is, I want to do that. I do, but the issue is that it takes time to make that comedy gold, and it's fucking, it's balls to the walls and dicks in the air at the moment, mate. It's busy. I'm flat out. My weekend is silly.
Why would a dick be in the air?
Because you're just waving it around like you just don't care. You're so busy that you're just waving your dick around.
Why would
it be balls to the wall?
Well,
why would it be balls to the wall?
Balls to the wall, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
is somehow related to like you're pressed up against a wall
With your balls. All the work is pressing up against you and it's pushing your balls
to the
back
wall.
against the wall.
But dicks in the air?
Yeah.
Like, are you saying that your dick is like erect and in the air?
I get turned
Because that's
on.
the only reason it would be in the air.
I get
is
turned
if
on
it was fully erect.
I get turned on by good jobs. Yeah.
Get turned
by
on
being busy. I get turned on by career advancement. It's dicks in the air. It's balls to the wall, but it's dicks in the air. There you go. So it's balls to the wall because that's true, but I'm also enjoying it. That's what that means. That's what that means. It's balls to the walls and dicks in the air.
Well, if your balls were to the wall, your dick would also be to the wall.
Well, it depends how long it is and how bendy it is.
It would be bent right up against. It would be bent right up against the wall if your balls were to the wall.
Oh well, I'm picturing him with his back to the wall, with his he's got his back to the wall, all his work in front of him, and the balls touching from behind because they're pressed up against the wall behind him. But he's facing his work, not the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's got an erection.
Well. Well, we don't have time
to delve into the next topic, which was going to be a heart-wrenching and sensitive one.
Yes.
So it's not the type of thing you can rush. It's not the type of thing you can rush.
No, you shouldn't rush through that.
So that's good for the people who left after the before the Game of Thrones stuff because they didn't miss anything.
That's right.
But yeah, we better wrap it up because Guy prioritizes going to the gym over talking to you guys.
Prioritize my fitness is very important. I'm still recovering from hip surgery in case you haven't forgotten.
You had your first fucking wrestling training the other day.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, it was quite sore on my hip.
Funny that. You know, is your plan to actually like train up and get back in the ring?
Well, I wouldn't be going to training if that's not what I was thinking.
Damn, son. Well, we'll have to delve into that next time.
My physiotherapist,
a questionable call, in my opinion.
My physiotherapist, who is also a wrestler, recommended I rule out certain moves that I do.
Yeah, but it's not moves that's the issue. It's incidents where things don't quite line up exactly how you'd thought.
Well,
you know?
it's both.
Yeah, but one of them you can control, one of them you can't. You can control which moves you do. You can't control when things go a little bit wrong, and it can just not take too long.
Calculated risk.
Well, we'll discuss that next time, I guess. But anyway, thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you next time. If you like the show, go facebook.com/Guy and Harley, and we'll keep you posted.
Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you later because I'm rushing out the door right now.
You've been listening to the Guy and Harley podcast, proudly brought to you by Pigville Productions.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.